Welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from the Random Shits channel, who asks the question, who would win a fight? The, let's be honest, terrorist, anarchist, and revolutionary V from Vendetta versus, well, the Punisher, he who seeks vengeance and punishes the wicked, to get revenge for the family he lost and vengeance for others. This, in hindsight, probably, by the way, yeah, it's the Jonathan Berthal Netflix version. I'm just using it as the image. We're looking at the composited version, the overall version. This is another one that probably should have been in the speed round, because this really isn't much of a fight, per se. There's a little bit of a fight. Let me go into a bit more detail. V is obviously the main character, or at least one of the main characters, and V for Vendetta, the graphic novel, but done by... who's the one who did it? Alan Moore or Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight Returns. I can't remember his name, but anyway, the graphic novel of the same name as the movie. The movie's great. I love the movie. You know, remember the 5th of November. I learned his whole monologue for when he meets Vivi. Voila! In view, a humble vaudevillian veteran, cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. I could keep going on, but I won't. But yeah, I learned that entire monologue for theater in high school. I love this movie. V is not a soldier, though. He was a victim. He was a prisoner in the facility. I believe it was Lark Hill or Lock Hill, something like that. I know Hill was the name. And experiments were done on him, as well as God knows how many other inmates there, to create a virus. It's actually believed, or at least theorized, that the virus created was actually born from his blood. And the experiments did give him some minor abilities. Like V for Vendetta is very grounded in reality, but they do say, at least in the movie, that he gained some basic kinesthesia abilities, which basically means he has an innate awareness of his surroundings without actually even opening his eyes. Like, he could be... Black Panther, really enough, as a comparison, is known for like having amazing kinesthetic abilities. That's why he's able to just Tarzan his way through the jungle so easily, because he just automatically knows where his foot's going to land. V has a similar ability. It's just nowhere near as like... it's nowhere near as effective. It's like a basic version of it. But V ultimately went on to take his revenge against the people who, created him and destroyed all these people's lives. Unfortunately, he suffered massive burns, and we don't know if it like deadened his nerves, like the experiments done, but like he was burnt to hell, and when he came out of there, and he went on to, I keep saying, I gotta stop saying it. He went on to be V. So, yeah, in terms of what V is capable of, though, V is a very capable combatant within his world. I mean, he just wears the guys in the Guy Fawkes mask. I'm actually not exactly sure what the mask he's wearing is made of. We know it could take a punch no problem and hurt someone's hands. That I think is actually got to be pretty durable. It's probably not porcelain like it looks. It probably is more like I don't know, maybe like a hard plastic porcelain mix, maybe ceramic or stone, maybe. Either way, he's actually a very skilled martial artist, capable of taking on plenty of people in a one on multiple people scenario. He's not like jumping off of rooftops per se, although we do see him occasionally do that. He's acrobatic in the sense that he can move well. He's also very skilled with knives. He has daggers that he uses, and he uses them very effectively, capable of throwing and killing a man just by throwing them. He's very intelligent. That would actually be his most effective trait, is his intelligence. He plans out a lot of the shit that goes on in the movie, and he plans it out to a T. He knew that Oh crap! Mr. Creedy. Mr. Creedy was going to turn on him. So after John Hurt gets a bullet in his head, he's like, "Time to remove your mask. Remove your mask." Oh no! And he just kills the two guys and say, "Well, you got your knives, your karate gimmicks. We have guns. No, what you have are bullets." In the hope that once they're emptied, I'll be dead on the ground. Because if they're not, you'll all be dead before you're reloaded. And then obviously he got blown to hell, and still managed to go, "My turn." And behind this mask, there's an idea, Mr. Creedy, and ideas are bulletproof. But V is still mortal. You would think, with all the access he had to stuff, he'd be wearing Kevlar, not just that our suit of armor breastplate that didn't really stop anything. It just slowed the inevitable. V was still mortally wounded. Even though he fought through probably with adrenaline, willpower, all that, he fought through all the damage he took in that scenario and wasted a room of about a dozen men. It was all for, I mean, he succeeded in what he was doing, but he was mortally wounded. He was not going to live through. He was not living through that. So yeah. Then you have the Punisher. The Punisher, Frank Castle, we know his story. He was a Marine, got back. His family was killed by crime, however the interpretation of crime is, and depending on your interpretation, depending on which version you're reading. And he swore vengeance and became the Punisher. He would punish the wicked for all that they do. And as a former Marine, he is usually depicted as being a guy in fantastic shape, like peak fit shape. He is always sporting body armor, weaponry from knives, grenades, knockout gas or smoke bombs, and God knows how many firearms. I would not even bother going into what he would theoretically be using in this fight because he usually has multiple on him at any one time. He's a master. He is a master of combat. He's not like a martial arts master per se, but he's a master of unarmed combat because, again, being a Marine gives you that kind of leeway. Or gives you that kind of training, I should say. And he's only just improved it since becoming the Punisher. He is also ruthless. Like, this man will kill you. Like, there is no there was a great crossover comic one time with Punisher. I think I brought it up before with Punisher and Batman. And the Joker, was screwing with him, but Frank's just he's gonna put a bullet in his head. And the Joker actually freaked out. He's like, no, wait, he's not playing. He's gonna actually kill me. Like, no, get him away from me. But that, and I spent so much time on V, and I'm not spending that much time on Frank because Frank is gonna kind of wail on V pretty hard. Now, I will say this: in a close range fight, that theoretically could go in either way. This is because even though Frank is arguably the superior fighter overall and is just better physical shape, V is a very dangerous man overall when it comes to handling. That's where his bread and butter is. He also is pretty good with a knife. Like, he could throw that thing and probably land it right in Frank's shoulder or something like that. Now, Frank has dodged bullets before, things along the side, so I doubt V could get a kill shot with his knife. Like, he wouldn't be able to stab him in the head, but he would definitely be able to maybe hit him in the shoulder or something along those lines. If the fight were to get in close range, do I see V pulling the win? I'll say there is a percentage of chances that he could take the win, but Frank, let's even look at the Netflix version of Frank real quick. Just the Netflix version alone. That man goes through hell in that series, in both Daredevil season 2 and both the Punisher seasons. That man goes through hell. Let me think about what he actually, just off the top of my head, what he's actually goes through. He's been stabbed God knows how many times, had his arm dislocated, had been shot on numerous occasions, had a drill put through his foot. He has been blown to hell. And I don't just mean he's been blown. I don't mean he's been blown up, but he's been right near explosions God knows how many times. He has been impaled. The man, just in Netflix for a series alone, has been through, honestly, more physically than V has, and has come out and still kept fighting. I mean, you go to that flashback where he's getting his ass kicked, he's injured, he's been shot, and he's just like, come on! It's like, yeah, because it's fight or flight for Frank. He's constantly going through PTSD every day, pretty much. At least the Netflix version is. It's likely Frank is in the comics too. So he's a lot more unhinged than V. Now, normally the more calm, collected fighter, I think, is the one who holds the edge. This, I don't think, is one of those occasions, actually. Because Frank is a trained fighter. If this close range fight would start out, I think, in V's favor. He would probably get a good couple jabs in on Frank, but Frank would eventually start getting pissed off and then finally just grab V, just break his arms, just start beating his ass. Get the John Bird phone. Oh man, the Punisher series was great. I can't wait for. Hopefully, he'll still be in Daredevil the new Daredevil Reborn. Or Born Again. Sorry, that's the name of the series. I know they scrapped. They scrapped what they shot because it just wasn't. It wasn't up to their. It wasn't up to snuff. It wasn't what they were hoping for. But yeah. So yeah, in a close range fight, I think I would give it to Frank. But there's certainly avenues V could win, so long as he's able to not get. If he's not caught by Frank, then he could win. But this all rolls back to the point of this video when I say that it's not really a close match, is that Frank's just going to blow his ass away. Because while V was able to live for a bit longer and stave off the Reaper by putting that breastplate under his suit, he doesn't normally walk around with that. You would think that he'd be wearing Kevlar or something like that, but maybe he just finds it cumbersome. I don't know. He is someone who does seem to need to move fast when he fights and gets in there. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, and the problem is Frank has so many weapons that even if V doesn't go down initially, if Frank just sees him moving, he'll just do that. So honestly, Frank's going to probably take this fight the majority of the time. Like I said, in a close range fight, though, I think there is an avenue for V to win. But the chances of it getting into close range is not very likely. It's probably going to be a mid-range fight, and Frank's just has way better weaponry on him than those guys in V for Vendetta did. He's got actual, rifles and firearms, whereas all the other ones just had handguns, I believe. He's got the legitimate, automatic weaponry on his under his belt. So yeah, I would go Frank 90% of the time. I don't do percentages anymore, but I would say maybe 95, 94, something like that. Like I said, there's an avenue for V to win, but it's only in the close combat range or close combat scenario, and it's only a certain percentage of those close combat scenarios. So I would go Frank. But this is just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you folks for the next one. I got a lot of videos to do because I still got my what if today, and I got to pre-record all of tomorrow's videos too. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you later.